Okay, the headlights in my 1947 truck here, well, it's a 1991 S10 chassis, wiring, motor, everything, but the headlights in it were so dim. I thought it was the headlights, the cheap headlights I bought off of eBay, but I have them on another vehicle and they're way brighter. So I knew I needed headlight relays. I was using the original S10 wiring harness too, and I thought I'd be okay, but for some reason they were just super dim. So I went and got just a couple of relays from Advance. I'll put up the picture so you can see the proper part number. I know a lot of times when you go into parts stores and you just ask for like a relay, they're like lost. If you don't give them a make, model, and year, a lot of times they don't even know where to look or anything like that. So, but they were under $6. I think they were about $5.50, somewhere in there. But yeah, I'll show you the diagram too. I'll also put it up so you can see a proper picture of it. Now, you always want these mounted as close as you can to the battery. It'd be better if you can have it, somewhat in between the battery and the headlights, or your electric fan or your light bar, but you always want them as close to the battery so they're not, so it'll send the amps just that much better. But you want to use 12 gauge wire. You could run 10 if you had a bunch of 10 laying around, but it's a little bit too much. But 12 gauge wire works perfect. So you want to fuse it directly off your battery, and then from your battery, it runs directly from your battery. It runs into the 30 on the bottom of the plug. So, and I always tape up my ends. Just in case something will touch them. You don't want them to get, grounded out and you're kind of wondering why and everything else. But so it's the 30 directly from the battery. So your ground from the battery, it doesn't have to be as thick. It's just a ground for the relay. This can be a 14 or 16 gauge, whatever. But that goes to the 85 on the bottom of the relay, and that's far off to the right here. From the switch also doesn't have to be as thick. That you can be a 14 or 16 gauge wire there as well. But that goes to the 86 on the relay. To the headlight or the fan or the light bar, that also has to be a 10 or a 12 gauge wire. That you want to run 12 gauge. Otherwise you're not accomplishing anything unless you're using a 12 gauge. So, and that goes to the 87 on the bottom of the terminal. Usually when I'm running multiple strands, I will put electrical tape on the one end and then a stripe of electrical tape on the other end. That way I'm not chasing wires back. But yep, and on this old truck there's so many sharp edges, so you'll want to use a wire loom whenever possible. If you're too cheap to go out and buy it, just cut it out of your neighbor's wash machine. I actually got this like heavy duty wire loom from the bottom of a wash machine, and it was I couldn't believe the wiring harness in it. It had like 8-10 feet of like every color of the rainbow wire, and there was also at least 40 or 50 feet of red wire just wrapped up and put under there. They must do that so they don't have to use a relay or something. But yeah, that's how I do it. This is how we do it. That's how I do it.